Everyone talks about the ICT strategy. How do you trade it? What's your breakdown? What's your go-to setup? And that's exactly what I'm going to show you right now. So I'm currently in a long position on Ethereum live right now. And I'm going to break down the exact setup step by step. This is my go-to setup. So it's the same concept I use every time the market gives me the right structure. So let's break down exactly how I caught it and how you can spot it too. So in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete everything from the charts and I'm going to start fresh. Now, the first thing that I do is I mark on all my internal and external liquidity. So if we just mark that on right now, these red lines indicate the external and also internal liquidity. So let's mark all of those on. Right, so once we've identified all the internal, external range liquidity on the weekly time frame, you can do this on the monthly as well. So once you've done that, now you want to mark on all your key PD arrays. So those are your order blocks and your fair value gaps, inverse fair value gaps, or anything else you can add on as well. So you can see there's an order block down here. So we can mark that on with your order block down here. We have an order block down here as well. So I'll mark that on as well. Now, this is the region that I want to focus on. And the reason I want to focus on this is because this is what aligned with the total market cap chart. I don't just look at Ethereum and trade it. I want to see alignment on the total market cap chart. And that's exactly what I saw. Now, I'm not going to break down and show you exactly what I was looking at on the total market cap. So let's break down what I was looking at. So we know we're within this range down here. So if we look into this range down here, the first thing we want to identify is all the key PD arrays. So we marked on the order block, and there's also a fair value gap down here that I've marked on. Now, what we want to do is we want to identify the dealing range. Now, the dealing range are basically your swing lows and your swing highs. So we have a swing low down here and we have a swing high down here. So this is the 50% range down here. This is known as your discount side of your dealing range, and anything above the 50% or 0.5 level to 1 is your premium side of the dealing range. So we want to look for entries, long positions in your discount side, and we want to look for short positions in your premium side. Therefore, I am looking for entries only when price comes into this region down here. So the 50% level. Now, once we've identified this, once prices come into this side of the dealing range, into the discount side of the dealing range, this is when we can go on the lower time frame and draw on all of your liquidity. Now, what we have down here is we have this huge move to the downside. Now, what we want to identify is where did price react off when we had this move to the downside? So we can see we have an order block down here. So that order block got tapped into and we closed above it. We can also see we have this fair value gap down here, which got tapped into and then also closed above it. So this is a good sign. This is exactly what we want to see, because when we see this, that's given us a sign that price is tapped into the discount side of the dealing range. Price is tapped into bullish PD arrays. So we've tapped into this order block here, this fair value gap here, rejected it. So that's given us a sign that price is now ready to move to the upside. Now, once we've done this, this is your sign, this is your signal to say basically, okay, we can go on the lower time frame now to identify a setup for a long position. Now, there's two things you can do here, and I wouldn't recommend it, but you can do it if you're more of a swing trader. You can actually just place an entry, and I was trying to do this when we had this collapse on Friday. I was trying to place an entry down here and put my stop losses down here, but I just couldn't get triggered. So when stuff like this happens, when we're in the discount side, when we tapped into key PD arrays, you can take an entry from here basically. Now, what I was identifying is a slightly higher risk, but a higher reward entry. So now when I drop onto the 4-hour, what I want to see is market structure shift. And essentially what that means is this. So let's say we're looking for price to move to the upside. Price is coming down. We want to see liquidity grabbed. When we see liquidity grabbed, we want to see price move to the upside aggressively. We want to see huge displacement to the upside. Therefore, then price creates a break of market structure, or also known as a market structure shift. Now, when we get that, we want to see price come back into a key region And that's where we take our long entries, and then we can discuss our targets in a second. Now, what can you see on the charts right now? We had huge liquidity to the downside that got swept, right? Now, this wick down here caused consolidation down here. Now, what we can see is price came down. We had another wick down here. Price took out this liquidity. Now, so imagine this area here. Prices come up, prices come down. Prices come up, prices come down, taking out liquidity, and then we need displacement. We had this displacement. That's exactly what I was looking for. So now that we've had the displacement, this was giving me a sign that price is ready to reverse and come to the upside. Therefore, I am looking for entries to the upside. What you want to do now is, once you've marked on all of your key areas, so that's your break of market structure, this is your displacement. Now you want to look within this dealing range. So we have a swing low down here and a swing high down here. You want to look within this dealing range and you want to say, okay, price first needs to come below the 50%, the discount side of the dealing range, for me to take an entry, number one. And do we have any other key PDRAs? Yes, we do. We have this busy candle down here, also known as a fair value gap, call it whatever you like. So now once price came into this area, I was ready to pull the trigger. So we had this move to the upside. Price slowly came back down. I actually went on the 1 hour time frame. And what I did then is I put on my OTE level. So we have this swing point down here to this swing point down here. So I'm going to mark that on from here to here. Price came down into this region and I took my entry. So my entry was down here and I had a slightly wider stop loss just below this area down here, and I got triggered in. Now I'm currently running at break even. At some point I was running around 1.1%. Obviously I took this as a leverage with high margin as well. That's currently running at break even, but this is your go-to ICT trading strategy setup. This is exactly what I would look for in every single trade. Could I have got lower? Yes, I could have got slightly lower. I could have entered the position a bit lower, but I missed that move and then I entered after this candle down here. Now, in theory, if price does come back down and it does take me out, there's always a possibility of that happening. And then what I will consider is looking at other PDRAs within here, and I may look for an entry long from this region and put my stop loss below the main low down here. This would probably be your highest probability trade setup because you are protected by this swing low down here. Now, in terms of targets, so interestingly for Ethereum, I might hold this as a swing trade setup. And the reason is because of what we had over the weekend. We had this huge liquidity grab and liquidation. I'm looking for price to actually tap into all-time highs for this. So this could be a swing trade, although it looks like a scalp trade right now. This can become my swing trade setup. Now, in terms of targets, I mean, this could go on up until 6K, 8K, 10K. I am going to hold this as long as I can. Now, in the short term, the areas that I'm going to look at, if I go on the daily time frame, the first thing that I'm looking at is the possibility of this move down here potentially being a market maker buy model. So this is your sell side, this is your buy side. So my first target obviously would be the swing points down here, the liquidity points down here, and then you'll have these areas here. Possibility, depending on how we move and how bullish price action is, I will take partials from around here. I will take partials from around this level and also this level, and then I'll let the rest of my trade run up until around 6 to 8K. So that's how you take your entries based on ICT. So obviously you guys know I trade crypto using the ICT strategy, and this is exactly what I look for in my trade setups. So let me know if you like these types of videos. It's a bit of a different video this time with a breakdown of a live entry that I'm in right now, so you guys can understand exactly what I'm looking at when I'm taking entries. And I'm happy to do more videos like these for you guys. So let me know in the comments, and please, as always, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video.